The fastest way to weaken a decision is to make checking the facts feel too late. The common mistake is to treat one uncomfortable moment as proof. The stronger test compares the pattern, the counterexample, and what would change the conclusion. The practical test is whether the deadline can name a real consequence and tolerate a short verification pause. A decision supposedly expires tonight. Every factual question is answered with another reminder that time is running out. Manufactured urgency has a recognizable structure. A countdown appears, questions become inconvenient, important details stay incomplete, and compliance is offered as the fastest path back to relief. Psychologically, a countdown narrows attention until ending uncertainty feels safer than checking whether the choice is sound. The clock does not need to be real if the emotional pressure feels real enough. Maybe a relationship demand must be answered immediately, even though nothing concrete changes by morning. Maybe a purchase or workplace commitment is called urgent, while the missing terms are still unavailable to review. The first test is concrete consequence. Ask who controls the deadline, what event occurs when time expires, and whether that consequence exists independently of the person demanding the answer. Use one clean question. Tell me exactly what changes if I decide tomorrow instead of tonight. The second test is verification. A sound decision process can identify the missing facts and explain whether a short pause materially changes the available options. The third test is reaction. Real constraints may remain firm, but they do not require ridicule, guilt, secrecy, or punishment merely because someone requested enough time to understand the choice. Do not let emotional speed substitute for a clear external deadline and complete information. Begin by separating time pressure from time reality. A calendar, expiring option, safety event, or operational dependency can create a real deadline. A repeated demand to hurry is not enough by itself. Ask who controls the clock. If the same person demanding agreement can extend the deadline whenever it benefits them, the countdown may be leverage rather than an external constraint. Ask what information is unavailable. Pressure becomes more concerning when the missing contract, price, policy, message, or second opinion is exactly what a careful person would need before consenting. A short pause is not automatically avoidance. 10 minutes, one night, or a written follow-up can be a proportionate way to improve a decision when no genuine emergency is unfolding. Notice what happens when you request the pause. Real urgency may keep the limit firm, but it can still explain the consequence. Manufactured urgency attacks your character for wanting to understand. Relationship pressure often uses emotional expiration. Answer now or the bond is over. The useful question is whether the issue truly cannot survive a calmer conversation tomorrow. Workplace urgency needs scope. Ask which task moves, who owns the trade-off, and what quality or risk changes. A clear priority decision is different from making one worker prove loyalty through impossible speed. Purchase pressure may use scarcity language. Before acting, verify the terms independently and ask whether a comparable option exists. Missing one offer is usually less costly than accepting an agreement you do not understand. Secrecy intensifies the risk. If the deadline also requires avoiding a trusted person, advisor, or written record, the process is removing more than time. It is removing comparison. Relief after saying yes can be misleading. The tension stops, so compliance feels like proof that the decision was correct. Relief only proves the pressure ended, not that the choice was sound. Write the decision in one sentence, then list the deadline, evidence, alternatives, and consequence of waiting. This simple structure returns attention to facts the countdown tried to hide. Use a reversible step when possible. A deposit with clear cancellation terms, a limited pilot, or a written provisional answer can preserve options without treating every decision as all or nothing. Not every fast decision is unsafe. Experience, clear evidence, and low stakes can support speed. The concern is speed demanded precisely where verification, consent, or meaningful consequences require more care. If the decision affects money, employment, health, housing, legal rights, or personal safety, use qualified support appropriate to the stakes. Emotional urgency should never replace professional verification. The final question is ownership. After the clock is explained and the facts are visible, can you still choose freely, or is the main consequence the other person's reaction to your independence? A sound deadline makes the decision clearer even when the answer remains difficult. A pressure deadline makes the person asking questions feel like the problem. You can decline the timing without deciding the entire relationship or opportunity. "I am not deciding under this deadline" is a complete response when the process itself is unsafe. The safest takeaway is practical. Name what changes, verify what matters, choose a proportionate pause, and judge the reaction. Time pressure should explain reality, not erase your judgment. A real deadline can be verified outside the conversation. A filing window closes, inventory is documented, or a third party controls the time. A manufactured deadline depends mainly on the other person's insistence. Ask what changes if you wait 30 minutes, one evening, or until a document can be checked. If the answer is only that someone will be upset, the emotional consequence is being presented as a practical one. Pressure often hides missing information behind speed. Price, scope, cancellation terms, alternatives, and responsibility remain unclear while the countdown receives all the attention. Use a 2-column test. Write what is known now and what still needs verification. A sound decision can survive that list. A pressure tactic tries to make the list itself feel disloyal or foolish. There is also a counterexample. Emergencies sometimes require fast action. Even then, responsible urgency explains the risk, names the best available evidence, and does not invent certainty that nobody has. The decision rule is to match speed to the consequence. If the consequence is real and time-sensitive, act. If the consequence is vague or controlled by the person demanding the answer, pause and verify. At work, ask which task moves if this deadline becomes the priority. A legitimate urgent request can identify the trade-off. A pressure tactic often demands speed while pretending no other responsibility has to change. In a purchase or contract, request the terms in writing. Read the cancellation rule, total cost, and delivery promise without the salesperson narrating them. Facts that remain clear in silence are safer than reassurance that disappears when the call ends. In a relationship, remove the global accusation from the immediate choice. Needing time to answer one request does not prove a lack of love, trust, or commitment. It only means the decision has not been made yet. Afterward, review whether the claimed deadline produced the stated consequence. Repeated false alarms are evidence. They show that urgency may be a reusable method for preventing questions rather than a rare response to real risk. Before answering, repeat the decision in neutral language. Remove the countdown, the accusation, and the promised relief. If the remaining choice sounds ordinary, the emotional packaging was doing more work than the facts. Decide from the plain version, then communicate the answer without debating the manufactured clock. The goal is not endless delay. It is a decision whose speed matches the actual consequence instead of the emotional volume surrounding it. If this made the pattern clearer, subscribe for more practical psychology breakdowns like this.